Hey, sorry, I'm just trying to get my camera working.
Oh, good.
Always how it is, right? Everything will work perfectly, and then as soon as you have to log in,
Of course.
it's like, oh, just joking. So just 1 second.
Is this April?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning, everyone.
Here.
Go ahead and share my screen. Okay. Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Okay. We'll give it a few more minutes. Let some other people join. Good morning, everyone. Those that have just joined us, we're going to wait a few more minutes and give just a handful we're still waiting on. Okay, we're a couple minutes after 9, and we've just got a handful of people we're waiting on. So I want to be mindful of your time. And so I think we'll go ahead and get started. We are recording. So if you joined late, or not joined late, if you joined after we press the record button, we are recording so we can share it for those who are not able to join us today. I am Laura Lorenz. I am the program director for Leadership Greensboro. It's great to see so much interest in the program this year. We've got a lot of information to cover today, and there'll be time at the end for questions and answers. And of course, I'm always available even after this call to chat with you individually and answer questions and work, talk through the program with you and try to make sure it's the best fit for you and it's going to work with your schedule and all the things. It's a great program, and I've got several people that I'd like to introduce to share a little bit about the program with you. The first person who is, oops, make sure, okay, it's not working, of course, hang on. There we go. And this is just a quote that I love about, before I introduce them, a quote that I love that just talks about leadership and how we are all servant leaders. It's I think if you're here today, this is part of your DNA. This is something that you're interested in. And this program, the Leadership Greensboro program, is definitely a program that can help do exactly what this quote says. Leadership training needs to create servant leaders, people who serve out of a personal mission, who are themselves trustees of the community, are inclusive, are process facilitators, can empower others, and understand the power of vision. They are change agents. So I think that's what we do in this program, and I'm excited to share with you some of the details. This program has been going on since 1966. There's a lot of leaders in our community that have been part of Leadership Greensboro, and it's a great program, as you'll see as we talk through the pieces of it. I do want to introduce our Executive Vice President of Member Engagement, Tracy Myers, who will just do a quick welcome, and then we're going to get an alumni perspective after she shares a bit. Thank you, Tracy, for being here.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you to everyone who's logged on today. First and foremost, welcome and congratulations to our newest alumni. So we have at least 3 of those folks on the call today, Lexi and Kevin, and Laura herself, who completed and graduated the program last year, or this year, the class of 2022. We're so excited that you guys have entered that alumni phase. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, this is one of our signature programs that we are absolutely thrilled to be able to offer in the community. As Laura said, we're going into our 46th class of Leadership Greensboro, and so that is a long legacy of leaders and catalysts for change throughout this community. And you will recognize some of those alumni. You will get to know some of those folks. Our police chief is in there. Our interim police chief is in there. We've had some amazing folks go through the program, and one of the things that just continues to come out of it is just the caliber of the programming. You'll hear more about that. You'll hear why that's special this morning. But we just really appreciate you taking the time and showing the interest. It's a special group of folks. They're still tight knit. I will tell you, I graduated the program in 2015, and the 45 of us stay in touch with each other pretty often. And that's who we tend to kind of reach out to when we have questions or when we want to reach out into our network. Those are the folks I call first. It's a very special bond. We spend a lot of time together to get to know each other. But the caliber of the leadership programming and the way things are presented in Leadership Greensboro just stick with you. You end up engaged in boards, you end up engaged in projects, you end up engaged in the community in so many different ways that you just can't anticipate going into it. I always like to tell folks, when I entered the Leadership Greensboro program in 2015, my company put me in it because we were working on a project in Greensboro, and that led to me being here. So I can't say enough about how it kind of just puts this sense of community and sense of building up Guilford County and Greensboro. into you. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. I can't wait for you to hear more. If you ever have any questions or you want to talk to someone who's an alumni but also involved in the program, feel free to reach out, and I'll turn it back over to Laura.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. That gives a great snapshot of how impactful this program is. I've asked Lexi Venata and Kevin Sasser to join us this morning. They were in the class with me. The class of 2022 is the best. Sorry, Tracy. We really had a great year because 2020 and 2021 were virtual and hybrid, and this class of 2022 we were all together, and it was really an amazing year. Not only new friendships were made, but definitely new connections within the business community, and so it was a great year. So Lexi works with Cone Health, and Kevin Sasser is with KMW Builders. They are both one of 4 of our program chairs, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but they were selected by the class of 2022 to be the program chairs, and I'm going to give you a little more insight as to how that works after they share a little bit. Lexi, would you like to just introduce yourself and share maybe a thought or a takeaway that you got over the past year being part of the Leadership Greensboro class?
Yes, of course. So I'm Lexi Venata. I work with Cone Health. I'm an emergency management coordinator here with the health system. And just a little snippet, I could go on and on about the program, but just living in Greensboro my entire life, there's just so much that I didn't realize that we have here in Greensboro, just the places you go, the people you get to meet, and the connections that you make just really make you feel so much more grounded to the community, even if you have lived here your entire life. So that's what I'll say about the program.
Great. Thank you, Lexi. Kevin, would you like to share a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. Nice to meet you guys. Good morning. Excited that y'all are considering being participants in the class. I would highly encourage you to go ahead and sign up. It is amazing. I put it off for probably 4 years and finally did it. And it was an amazing experience. Kind of like Lexi said, just learning a lot more about Greensboro that you didn't realize. I've been in Greensboro since 1996, and getting to see a lot of the different places. And for me, one of the biggest things was getting to learn a lot more about the nonprofits that were here in Greensboro, and just the amazing impact and work that so many of them are able to do here in Greensboro. So that was probably the biggest takeaway for me. But go ahead, send your application in.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin and I served on our Action Learning project together, and we had a really fun time. Our group, I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but we really bonded, and that was a great another piece of the program that I'll talk about shortly. So let me just talk a little bit, kind of give you a Leadership Greensboro snapshot. You can see the graphic there. That is our kind of our signature motto: connect, impact, and serve. And that's what we try to do through the program. It's a 3-part signature leadership development program. And I'm going to talk about each of the parts so you can kind of get a big picture of what, because it doesn't only end with the class that you're in. After you graduate, there's still lots of opportunities. And it's designed with Greensboro as a foundation of learning. As Kevin and Lexi both mentioned, you learn a lot about Greensboro that you did not know. If you're new to Greensboro, you're gonna learn a lot. And if you've been here for 30 years, you're going to learn more than you thought you would. And so it just really is a program that connects. You know, we connect leaders with one another and within the community, and that's an important part of the program. And it also impacts the quality of life in Greensboro through the action learning projects that we do, the nonprofits that we work with, and of course, it serves the area nonprofits, as Kevin mentioned, through the projects that we do. So the first part I'm going to talk about is the education part. So that's basically the year-long or the 9-month educational component that starts in September and runs through May. And this is, so each month there are themed monthly day-long sessions that we do. There's a 2-day Center for Creative Leadership retreat, which I thought maybe our alums might talk about a little bit. That to me was just a highlight of the year. Being able to be at Center for Creative Leadership, immersed in that facility. It's an amazing nationally or worldly known center, and we have 2 days of team building, leadership development, and it really is just a great way to get to know your class and to develop those leadership skills that we all can definitely use in any industry that we're in, whether it's nonprofit, manufacturing, or whatever it is. We take a deep dive and look at the critical community issues that are facing Greensboro and the Triad. There's a lot of hands-on experience throughout the different program days that we do. We do lectures and panels from local community leaders who are experts in their field, and we focus on those timely issues. We do tours as part of the program days. So, for example, at our Health and Human Services Day this past year, we were really lucky to be able to tour the new state-of-the-art the Cone Health Med Center that's down Drawbridge Parkway off of Battleground, and that was an amazing facility. So they had just opened, I think, several weeks before, so we were very fortunate to be able to tour that as well. And so the day-long sessions are usually once a month, and they typically go from 8:30 to 5. And then we usually have a social after, just to have the opportunity to network some more, to talk some more, and to get to know one another in the class. So then the second part of the program is the volunteer leadership that I've alluded to several times. Kevin and Lexi are program chairs. So the class of 2022, they nominated who they would like to serve as their program chairs for the following year. So Kevin Sasser, Lexi Venata, Deb Richardson, and Heather Adams are the 4 program chairs that will guide the year and will create the curriculum and the content for you and for this program for the class of 2023. In addition, there's day chairs. So when you graduate from the program, you're given the opportunity to help plan one of those days. So for example, Lexi works at Cone Health, and so her interest is in Health and Human Services Day. So she's going to help with that day, and then the rest of the class will select one of the program days to be a part of, and they will develop the content, they will coordinate the speakers, they will arrange for the hands-on experience or the tours or that kind of thing. So not only do you have the year-long class and the year-long program with Leadership Greensboro, then the following year you have the opportunity to mold and to create the curriculum and the content for the upcoming class. So you get to continue those leadership skills that you develop during the program, and then you get to still continue to make those connections, not only with your class members, but the new class coming in. And so the program facilitation is an important part of it, and the lead program planning as well. The other thing that I've mentioned before is the action learning project. So this is something that is part of the program as well, and this is a requirement for graduation. So not only do you need to attend all of the program days, you have the opportunity to really jump in and to work on a project in Greensboro as part of a small team. So there's usually about 9 or 10 projects that and they're typically nonprofits that come to us that have a need or something that they would like to try to research for a new program. For example, the Teacher Supply Warehouse, if y'all are familiar, GEA, with the Guilford Education Alliance. That is a program that came out of Leadership Greensboro. It was an idea that GEA had, and they said, well, let's see, if this could be an action learning project for Leadership Greensboro, and let's see if this, we'll just do this project and for this during this year and see kind of where it goes. And it has developed into the amazing program that it is today. So that's another opportunity for the volunteer leadership and continuing that after you graduate. And then alumni engagement is basically the third part. And there's Tracy in the top picture with her class, some of her class members. It doesn't end when you graduate. There is, like Tracy said, there is membership in the Leadership Greensboro Alumni Association. There's opportunities that come about from being in this program to serve on boards and lead other community projects, or possibly run or start a foundation, run for local elections. We have so many leaders that we follow that have done so many great things in Greensboro, as Tracy mentioned, and still connecting through the alumni part is really an important piece, because that way you can kind of keep the learning process, the leadership, growing as a leader. You can continue that through the alumni engagement. And we do a variety of programs. We have in January, we always have a kind of a New Year reception for alumni in the current class. That's where we give out some of our leadership awards. And then we do several events throughout the year to give the alumni an opportunity to connect. Sometimes it's a service-oriented thing, sometimes it's just networking, but it's another way to stay involved and keep engaged. And I mentioned earlier about the Teacher Supply Warehouse. Of course, this program is a lasting legacy. It's been around for a long time. And these are some of the programs that you see on the screen that have come about through the action learning projects through Leadership Greensboro. And a lot of people don't realize that the Children's Museum was just a small little thought, and it came about through the action learning project here, and look at where it is today. So that just shows you some of the exciting things that are happening in Leadership Greensboro. Okay, and feel free to, if you have any questions as we go, to jump in, and of course at the end we'll have time for questions as well. So I know this is an important piece and something that's very important in trying to see if it's going to fit into your work schedule. And most employers, really that support you through this program really want you to be part of it, be immersed in it. And so we find that it really typically is not a problem. We have the dates set already for the whole calendar year, so you can get the dates on your calendar now and plan accordingly. Attendance is key. If you miss 5 sessions, you're really not going to get out of the program what it is intended to give. So we ask that you attend all program days, and that we know things come up. We know and we've had to deal with COVID and trying to deal with people who have gotten COVID and who have to quarantine. So we really try to make an effort to make sure you can be there. Whereas in the past we never recorded our sessions, but last year we did find that it was helpful to either Zoom people in if they happen to be at home with a family member who had COVID, or them themselves. So we will definitely work with you on that, but we do require that you have less than 2 absences at any of the program days. And then there are some required activities outside of the program days, and those dates will be given to you, of course, at the beginning of the year, and so you can get those on your calendars as well. As I mentioned, the action learning projects is a requirement, and to complete part 2 of the program after graduation. And part 2 is that piece of signing up to be a program chair, or being selected as a program chair and signing up as a day chair to help facilitate one of the program days throughout the year. So it's not a huge commitment. So you can plan accordingly. If you're Health and Human Services Day and your day is April, you can plan towards that. We do planning sessions, of course, with the program chairs and with myself to make sure everyone knows what to do and provide suggestions and all of that. So it's a great way to still be involved after graduation. let me look, make sure I haven't missed anything as we go through. Okay. So this is the program calendar. I've emailed several of you this as well. This is also on our website. So when you do go to apply through the website, the dates are there, the attendance policy is there. And so you really do need to read through that and talk with your supervisor and make sure that everybody's on the same page and they know what the expectations are, so they know when you need to be out and kind of what the expectations are there. So we do start the program in September, and that the first 2-day retreat is really an important day, 2 days to be there. We do that at Camp Weaver. That's basically when we introduce you to some of our community information partners. CCL will be there to talk about the leadership development portion of the program that they do. We do a lot of team building, ropes course, fun stuff like that. So that's really 2 days that you really do not want to miss. And then October is the 2 days for the Center for Creative Leadership. Again, those are really 2 impactful days that that just kind of shape and form the year to kind of get us started as we go into the rest of the program days. And then you'll see the rest of the dates are typically the 3rd Wednesday of every month is when we meet. We are going to do, we have one other additional day that we do at CCL. That will be in December, and we're confirming that date in the next week or so. And then we will share that date as well and update this calendar so people can be aware of that. And then the graduation, so May gets a little busy because we have our last kind of full program day on May the 3rd. And then the following Wednesday is our wrap-up day. And that's typically a half day where we start at lunch and then go through the afternoon. And then we end with the graduation and reception where family can be invited and that type of thing. So it seems like a long, but it flies by, as I know Lexi and Kevin can attest to. It really does, it does fly by. Let's see, anything else there? I think that's all I needed to say about our calendar. Okay, so we're going to go through. Okay, so then the online application is on our website. You should have the link, and I'll follow up with a follow-up email from after today with the calendar dates and some other important information, and also the link to the website, which you can go on and fill out the online application. 2 recommendation letters are required, and that can be any, your supervisor, a pastor, a board, if you serve on a board, the board chair, anybody that works with you closely that can give you, can share kind of insight as to why you should be part of Leadership Greensboro this year. The commitment and attendance policy is basically, it talks about what we talked about earlier, just about how, you have to be present in order to get the full benefit of the program. And so you will sign that along with your supervisor. And both of those you'll need to email to me. So you'll complete the online application, and then you will email your recommendation letters and your attendance policy to me. So we do need all of those things, of course, by the deadline, which is July 29th. And then we will let everyone know by August 15th as to whether you're selected to the program. Tracy mentioned earlier, we take 45 people, makes up the class. We wish we could take more, but right now that's where we are. And then invoices, so there's no payment required when you submit the application. Invoices will then be mailed the first part of that, the week of August the 15th. And as you can see, tuition is $3,100 for chamber members and $3,600 for non-members. And I think, let's see, there's one other thing. Okay. Okay. And so here's the website. Again, we do have a Facebook page where we post different things about the group. So you can kind of take a look and see what the class has done in the past, over this past year and in subsequent years. It's a great way to connect there. We do a GroupMe app that we use with the class, where we share information during the year. And the nice thing is that continues. So even after you graduate, we're still posting on our 2022 GroupMe about births children being born, job, promotions, that kind of thing. So that's a great way to still connect in addition to the Facebook page. So that is really all. I didn't think we would go till 10, so I'm going to give you 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes back to your day, but I will take this moment to answer any questions that you have. And I was thinking there was one other thing I was going to mention, but let's see if there's any questions and maybe it'll pop right back into my head. If I don't write it down. I don't know about y'all, but if I don't write it down, sometimes it just goes right out. Any questions?
Yes, hi, I have a question.
Yes.
What is the ideal person for the program?
Good question. I would say we have so many different industries that are represented through Leadership Greensboro members or class members. We have nonprofits, we have individuals who are not always connected with an organization. We have CEOs, we have police chiefs, as Tracy mentioned. And so really, I would say what we are looking for is someone who is making a difference in the community, no matter what it is. Again, serving in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through your church, whether it's through something through your organization, whether you're serving on a board. So just looking for someone who really is in leadership roles, but they don't have to be big leadership roles. This program is really designed to help you wherever you are, wherever you're starting. If you're getting on a board and this is the first time you've served on a board and you just really want to develop those leadership skills, then this program is for you. If you're a seasoned veteran and you are, have been, you're an executive within your organization, you are have served on a number of boards, this program still is for you. So it really, I think it can speak to you wherever you are and in your journey. And you do not have to be an executive. You do not have to have be in a major role within your organization to benefit from this program. The networking. If networking is your goal, this is another way to make those lasting relationships and those connections, not only friendships, but those connections within the community that will help your business grow, that will help you within your organization. And so that's really what we're looking for. If you've got the desire to connect, impact, and serve, then this is the program for you. Tracy, do you have any other thoughts there? You're more seasoned than I am, so I know you will have some good thoughts as well.
Yeah, I think you touched on all of it. The main thing when we start receiving applications and we start going through the applications, one of the ideal goals that we have every year is for the makeup of the class to be very representative of the makeup of the community. And so we do look all across the board. We want everything from nonprofit all the way up to some of the largest organizations in town. We want to make sure that we have diversity of thought, we have diversity in every way possible that we can in that group. So it's very hard to pinpoint what an ideal candidate looks like. The importance is that that class of 45 gets put together in a way that it's going to benefit everybody who's in there. So like Laura said, we've had CEOs in that class. I was in there with folks who were at the very top C-suite positions in there. organization. I absolutely was not. I was newer in my management journey at that point in time, which was great because you get that insight. So yeah, as far as ideal candidate, it's exactly what Laura said. Somebody who's looking to accomplish all three of those things, to make those connections, to make lasting impact, be a catalyst for change in the community. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Laura, and then if I could just piggyback on what Tracy said, kind of like that quote that you had at the beginning of the presentation, we're talking about servant leaders. It's kind of something that I feel like is like just derived within. You don't have to hold, like Tracy was saying, a C-suite position or you know, a leadership position like that, because someone might have those just innate leadership qualities. Because I was one of the youngest ones in the leadership Greensboro class, and I've just always been told and just have those innate leadership qualities and just had that desire to serve. So just wanted to add that in there.
Thank you, Lexi. That is so true about you. Any other questions? Well, again, I'm here, and was there a question?
Yes, I have a question about the recommendations. Do you want them sent directly from the person writing them, or do you want them to send them to us and then we send them to you?
Either way, whichever is more convenient. If you're having a hard time getting them from them, they can send them directly to me. I've had both ways. So just make sure, of course, they say, you know, obviously the letter will have your name in there, but yeah, just make sure they know, you know, if they're going to send it, that it has to be in by July 29th.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Laura, I have a question.
Yes.
The commitment letter, that's also part of the requirement for the application. Is that something on your website, or do we need to have that at the time of application?
Yes, so when you go into the application, you will be able to download the commitment attendance policy and print it, and then you'll just need to sign it and then scan it and email it to me. We have a new system that at the chamber that we're all trying to figure out, and we haven't figured out a way to then upload it back to the application. So maybe by next year we'll have worked that one out. So just print it, scan it, print it, sign it, scan it, and send it to me. Thank you. And reminder that your sponsor, basically it says on their sponsor, basically that's the person, your supervisor, whoever is that's recommending you for the program. They would then sign that as well, just so that they are aware of, you know, the commitment that you're going to, you know, that you're going to be out of the office at these times. And it'd be, you know, probably good to share the calendar with them as well, just so they know and aware of the dates as well.
So I do have a question. I don't know if you can do this or not. I guess this is a special request. So I'm with Cone Health, and we actually are making this a application process where we have candidates that are recommended by their leaders, but they have to go through an application process, and then our executive committee has the final selection. So would it be possible to include your letter? If you could send that to me, we can include that with our application process and have it already set to go.
Yep, I'll send you, I'll email the PDF to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Okay, great. Any other questions? Okay, so look for a follow-up email from me later today with some of these documents that I've already mentioned, the link to the website and to the application. And at any point, you'll have my information, reach out, email, call, text, and I'm glad to walk you through it. If there's, because like I said, this is a new, this is new for us this year, this application process on this new platform. So we're going to work through it together. So if you run into any issues at all, feel free to reach out. I will be at a conference next week. So I might not get back to you during the day. So just know that I will get back to you later on in the evening. And we're just excited to see you on. I'm excited to see you on the screen. This will be, as Tracy mentioned, I was part of the class and I helped facilitate Leadership Greensboro last year, but I'm just coming into this role as the Director of Leadership Greensboro. So I'm new, but not new. So we'll be doing this together. I'm excited about this year. I'm excited that you're interested in applying. It's really a life-changing experience in so many ways. And I'm just excited that you're interested. And again, feel free to reach out at any point. We're here to answer questions. Tracy as well. If for some reason you can't get me next week and you need a timely answer for something that you're working on, just reach out to Tracy as well. So thank you again. Have a great day. Stay cool in this heat, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.